Gentlemen, let me begin with a truth that may shake you. The supplement most men over 60 are faithfully swallowing every night, magnesium, will not bring back your erections. You could take it for 100 nights straight, lining up those little pills on your nightstand like soldiers in formation, and you would still wake up softer, weaker, and more frustrated than before. That bottle you've trusted all these years is not the answer. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott, a urologist with over 3 decades of experience guiding men back to vitality, strength, and yes, their manhood. I've treated thousands of patients across America, retired firefighters, school teachers, truck drivers, men who once believed their best days were long buried behind them. And yet I have watched them come alive again, not because of trendy supplements, but because they finally understood the real science of repair. Here's the paradox. Magnesium, the very mineral sold to you as a cure-all, does almost nothing for your erections. The truth is, your body has been waiting quietly for something else, something far more powerful than a pill, something nature gave us long ago, overlooked and forgotten. It comes from 2 simple fruits that, when eaten before bed, unlock your body's natural nighttime repair system. These fruits restore blood flow, boost testosterone, and revive your erections while you sleep. Imagine waking up at 70, 80, even 85 with firmness and confidence you thought had been stolen forever. Now, before we go deeper, I need your help. If you value this kind of men's health wisdom, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Drop me a 1 in the comments if you're ready to bring back your strength, or a 0 if you think I can do better. I read them all. And most importantly, tap that like button right now. When you do, I'll send 3 wishes your way. May your mornings rise stronger, may your nights grow deeper and more restful, and may your confidence as a man never fade with age. Gentlemen, magnesium is not your savior. Tonight, we begin with the real foundation of revival. Gentlemen, let us take a closer look at why magnesium has failed so many of you. For years, glossy ads and even some well-meaning health blogs have painted magnesium as a magic mineral, the answer to deeper sleep, stronger muscles, calmer nerves, and yes, even better erections. I cannot count how many men have walked into my office with that little white bottle in hand, eyes full of hope, saying, "Doctor, this is the one, right?" And each time, I have to deliver the hard truth. No, magnesium will not bring your manhood back. Now, don't misunderstand me. Magnesium is not harmful. In fact, it plays an important role in muscle relaxation, nerve signaling, and maintaining calm at the end of a stressful day. But when it comes to erections, the equation is far more demanding. Erections are not simply about relaxation. They require powerful blood flow, robust testosterone production, and the reinforcement of smooth muscle fibers inside the penis that trap and hold blood in place. Magnesium may soothe your body, but it does not ignite testosterone, it does not repair those fibers, and it does not fuel the repair cycle your manhood desperately needs each night. Let me tell you about Mr. Frank, an 82-year-old retired mechanic who sat across from me with his shoulders slumped. He had been swallowing magnesium faithfully every evening for nearly a decade. He thought he was doing the right thing. But his testosterone was flatlined, his zinc was depleted, and his vitamin D was almost non-existent. No wonder he felt weak, discouraged, and disconnected from his wife. Once we removed the nightly magnesium routine and replaced it with nutrients his body was actually craving, within weeks the transformation was striking. He came back grinning like a younger man and said, "Doctor, I thought I was finished. Turns out I was just taking the wrong thing." This story repeats itself far too often. Men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s misled by popular trends while their bodies cry out for something entirely different. Magnesium isn't dangerous, but it is not the miracle you've been promised either. And if you are serious about reclaiming your strength, you cannot waste your precious nighttime repair window on something that will never deliver. The true answer lies not in a calming mineral, but in aligning your body with the natural repair process that activates at night and fueling it with what truly matters. And that, gentlemen, is where we must go next. Gentlemen, this may surprise you, but the real foundation of your erections has little to do with what you do while the sun is up. You can eat clean meals, lift weights faithfully, even spend small fortunes on supplements. Yet if your body is not repairing itself properly at night, every ounce of effort will still leave you waking up discouraged. The forgotten secret lies not in what you do during the day, but in what your body is able to accomplish when you surrender to sleep. Between the hours of 11:00 p.m. and 3:00 a.m., your body enters its most powerful phase of recovery. This is when blood vessels expand, hormones surge, and tissues quietly rebuild themselves after the strain of daily life. The smooth muscle fibers in your penis, the very structures that trap blood and keep you firm, are designed to be restored during these hours. Miss this window or fail to fuel it properly and your body's blueprint for strength remains locked away unused. I recall Mr. Harold, a 78-year-old retired firefighter who came to me utterly defeated. He ate healthy, walked daily, and even tried every supplement he could find online. Still, each morning he woke up soft, tired, and ashamed. After a few simple tests, the truth was obvious. His body wasn't using its repair window. He was falling asleep, yes, but without the right nutrients in place, his nights were wasted. Once we corrected his routine, aligning his evening nutrition with his repair cycle, something remarkable happened. Within weeks, his morning firmness began to return. The first time he told me, "Doctor, I finally feel like myself again," I saw the fire come back into his eyes. This is why I tell you without hesitation, it is not too late. Whether you are 60, 70, or even 85, your body still remembers how to repair itself. But you must give it the right conditions. Most men waste this opportunity by relying on magnesium, a mineral that may relax the body but does nothing to unlock the deeper processes of repair. What your manhood truly craves at night is far more specific. Gentlemen, you now understand the power of nighttime repair. But to appreciate it fully, you must also face the reason why magnesium, despite all the hype, fails men like you. And that truth sets the stage for the foods that can finally bring your body back to life. Gentlemen, the first fruit I want to share with you may seem so ordinary that most men walk right past it at the grocery store. It is the simple orange, or any citrus fruit for that matter. People often think of it only as a source of vitamin C, something you grab when you feel a cold coming on. But its true power has little to do with fighting sniffles. The real secret is how citrus supports vitamin D, the very nutrient your body relies on to activate its nighttime repair system. When you drift into deep sleep, vitamin D acts like a master key. It unlocks receptors in your penile tissue, allowing calcium and phosphorus to strengthen the smooth muscle fibers that trap blood and hold your erection firm. Without this lock-and-key process, blood slips away too quickly, leaving you soft and frustrated. And here is where citrus comes in. It helps your body absorb and utilize vitamin D far more efficiently, ensuring the fuel for repair is actually delivered where it is needed most. Let me tell you about Mr. George, a 74-year-old retired engineer. When he first came to see me, his vitamin D levels were critically low. He hadn't felt a strong erection in years, and he looked at me with a mix of fear and resignation. We paired vitamin D supplementation with citrus fruit at dinner. Within just a few months, his blood tests revealed higher testosterone, his sleep deepened, and his morning firmness began to return. He shook my hand with tears in his eyes and said, "Doctor, I feel like I've rolled back the clock 20 years. That is the difference when you align simple foods with your body's natural repair cycle." As men age, the skin's ability to generate vitamin D from sunlight declines sharply. A few minutes outdoors is no longer enough, and food alone rarely provides sufficient amounts. That is why eating citrus with your evening meal can make the difference between nights of disappointment and mornings of renewed strength. Gentlemen, this is not about how hard you push yourself in the daylight hours. It is about what your body has available when the repair clock strikes at night. Citrus fruit is your activator, but it is only half the story. Because there is another fruit, deep red and bursting with seeds, that fuels the very spark of testosterone itself. And that is where we must turn next. Gentlemen, the second fruit may look exotic, even a little intimidating, but inside it hides one of the most powerful gifts nature can offer to a man over 60. I am talking about the pomegranate, ruby red, filled with jewel-like seeds and brimming with a mineral that older men desperately need, zinc. Now, why is zinc so vital? Because it is the ignition switch for testosterone. Without zinc, your body cannot fire up its repair system. It is like sitting behind the wheel of a perfectly good car with a full tank of gas but no key to start the engine. You can push the pedal all you want, but you will never move forward. In the same way a man can exercise, eat well, even sleep properly, but without adequate zinc, his testosterone production stalls and his erections fade. I remember Mr. Samuel, a 68-year-old retired math teacher, who came to me completely discouraged. He was eating clean, walking every morning, even following my guidance on vitamin D and citrus. Yet he still felt flat, drained, and lifeless. When we checked his blood work, the culprit jumped off the page. His zinc levels were far too low. I suggested he add pomegranate to his evening ritual, whether the seeds, a small glass of pure juice, or the fruit itself. Within weeks, his voice carried more energy, his posture grew stronger. And with a smile stretching across his face, he told me, "Doctor, I haven't felt this alive in 20 years. That, gentleman, is not just biology, it is dignity restored." The truth is, nearly 40% of older men are zinc deficient, and most don't even realize it. Food alone often falls short, especially as digestion and absorption slow with age. But pomegranate stands out as one of nature's richest and most bioavailable sources. Taken in the evening, when testosterone production naturally peaks during deep sleep, it becomes more than a fruit, it becomes a lifeline. So I say to you clearly, citrus may activate your repair system, but pomegranate fuels the spark. It is the difference between potential and performance. Together, they set the stage for a body that knows how to heal itself again. But even with these powerful allies, many men unknowingly sabotage their progress. I have seen it countless times. One small mistake in the evening, and all the gains of citrus and pomegranate are erased overnight. That is why, before we go further, we must expose the 3 nighttime mistakes that quietly rob men of their strength. Gentlemen, even if you give your body the right fuel with citrus and pomegranate, there are still hidden traps that can undo everything you've worked for. I have watched men come into my office proud of their progress, only to admit that despite their discipline, their mornings were still lifeless. And after digging deeper, the culprit was often one of 3 nighttime mistakes. Mistakes so subtle you might not even realize you're making them. The first mistake is taking your B-complex vitamins at the wrong time. These are wonderful in the morning because they provide energy, sharpen your focus, and support your nervous system. But taken after dinner, they do the opposite of what your body needs at night. Instead of sinking into restorative deep sleep where repair and testosterone production take place, your brain stays wired and your nervous system remains on high alert. I will never forget Mr. Leonard, a 71-year-old ex-truck driver. He was exercising daily, eating well, and yet he couldn't understand why his strength was not returning. Then I asked about his supplements. He proudly told me he was taking his B-complex after dinner. Once we moved it to the morning, his sleep deepened, his recovery improved, and within weeks his nighttime repair began to bear fruit. The second mistake is vitamin C at night. Now, don't get me wrong, vitamin C is a fantastic nutrient. But when taken late in the evening, it interferes with the mild oxidative stress your body actually needs to trigger tissue repair. One of my patients told me he felt restless every night after his evening dose of vitamin C, and sure enough, his erections remained weak. We shifted his intake earlier in the day, and almost immediately his rest improved, and with it, his strength. The third and perhaps most damaging mistake is hidden caffeine. Most men know not to drink coffee at night, but few realize caffeine lurks in teas, chocolates, and so-called energy blends. Caffeine elevates cortisol, the stress hormone that directly shuts down testosterone production, while also cutting short the deep sleep cycles your manhood depends on. Gentlemen, avoiding these 3 nighttime traps is just as important as adding the right fruits. Because one wrong step can erase the progress of an otherwise perfect evening. But knowledge of mistakes alone is not enough. To understand why all this matters so deeply, we must go beyond the science and speak about the heart, the emotional truth of what it really means for a man to lose, and then to reclaim his erections. Gentlemen, let us set the science aside for a moment, because when a man loses his erections, it is never just about physiology. It cuts much deeper. It reaches into the very core of who he believes himself to be. Over the years, I have sat across from thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Some whispered their words as though ashamed to even speak them out loud. Others looked me straight in the eye, but with a quiet heaviness. What they shared was always the same: "Doctor, I don't feel like myself anymore." It is not merely the absence of firmness. It is the loss of confidence, of intimacy, of dignity. I remember Mr. Walter, an 83-year-old retired pastor, who told me in a trembling voice, "Doctor, I don't even hold my wife's hand at night anymore. I feel like I've failed her." That kind of pain is not found in blood tests. It is found in the silence between two people who once shared everything. But I also remember what happened next. We worked together to repair his body's nighttime system, giving him the nutrients and guidance he had unknowingly denied himself. Months later, he walked back into my office with a smile stretching from ear to ear. "Doctor," he said, "last night we held each other again, and for the first time in years. I felt like her husband." That moment wasn't just medical, it was profoundly human. Gentlemen, your erections are not just about performance, they are about closeness, identity, and the sense that you are still fully alive. The good news is it is not too late, your body still carries the blueprint for renewal waiting to be unlocked. I have seen it happen time and again in men who once thought the fire had gone out for good. But knowledge flows in both directions. I share these stories with you, and in turn I hear from you. Letters, comments, heartfelt confessions, and even challenges. And that brings me to something I value deeply, the dialogue we share, because your questions, your doubts, and your victories matter. And that is why, before we move forward into the plan of action, I want to pause and respond directly to you. Gentlemen, before we move forward with tonight's action plan, I want to pause, because this is not a one-way lecture. This is a conversation, a community of men searching for strength, dignity, and renewal together. And over the past week, many of you left comments and letters, some heartfelt, some skeptical, and some downright humorous. I promised I would read them, and today I'll answer a few. Question 1, Dr. Prescott, I'm 72. Am I too late? I feel like my body has already given up. Brother, I hear this question more than any other, and let me tell you, no, you are not too late. I have watched men in their 80s, even 90s, restore their vitality once they aligned with their body's natural repair system. Age is not the enemy, neglect is. As long as you are still breathing, your body holds the blueprint for healing. Question 2, Doc, I tried citrus at night like you said, but I don't like oranges. Do I really have to eat them? Fair question. No, it doesn't have to be oranges. Grapefruit, tangerines, even a few slices of lemon can help. It's about the compounds that boost vitamin D utilization, not the exact fruit. The goal is consistency, not perfection. Question 3, Doctor, I've been taking magnesium for 15 years. Are you saying I wasted my time? Not wasted. Magnesium does help calm nerves and relax muscles. But if your goal was to restore erections, then yes, your effort was misdirected. Don't feel ashamed, you followed what everyone told you. What matters is that now you know the truth and you can pivot toward what really works. Question 4, hey doc, sounds like snake oil to me. Fruits for erections, come on. I smile when I read comments like this. Healthy skepticism is a good thing. But this isn't magic, it's biology. Vitamin D and zinc are scientifically proven to support testosterone and vascular health. The fruits are simply nature's delivery system. The results aren't instant like a pill, but they are real, lasting, and safe. Question 5, Dr. Prescott, my wife says she doesn't care if I can't perform anymore. Should I still bother with this? Gentlemen, listen carefully. Your erections are not just about your partner. They are about you, your confidence, your energy, your sense of being fully alive. I've seen men who thought their wives didn't mind, only to realize later that reclaiming their vitality rekindled closeness they didn't even know they had lost. So to every man who writes, comments, or even challenges me, I thank you, because it tells me you're engaged, you're listening, and most importantly, you still care. And that, my friends, is the first step toward renewal. Now let's take everything we've learned about citrus, pomegranate, mistakes to avoid, and the emotional truth, and put it into a clear, step-by-step plan you can start tonight. Gentlemen, you have heard the truth, you have seen the science, and you have listened to the stories of men who once thought their best years were gone. Now it is time to take action, because knowledge without practice is just theory. Tonight can be the first night you begin to reclaim what you thought was lost. Here is the plan I want you to follow, simple and precise. First, put aside that bottle of magnesium. It may help you feel calm, but it will not rebuild your manhood. At your evening meal, include a serving of citrus, an orange, a grapefruit, or even a handful of tangerine slices. Pair it with 2,000 to 4,000 international units of vitamin D3. If you are eating healthy fats at dinner, salmon, avocado, or olive oil, that will help your body absorb the vitamin D and deliver it exactly where your nighttime repair system needs it. 2 hours before bed, add a serving of pomegranate. It can be a bowl of seeds, a small glass of pure juice, or even the whole fruit if you prefer. This is not just about taste. Pomegranate provides zinc in a natural form your body can use, giving you the ignition switch to fire up testosterone production during deep sleep. Take it with a full glass of water and make it part of your nightly ritual. At the same time, avoid the traps we uncovered earlier. No B-complex vitamins after dinner, no vitamin C late at night, and absolutely no hidden caffeine from teas, chocolates, or supplements. These mistakes quietly steal your progress and undo the good work your body is trying to accomplish. Finally, protect your sleep. Set aside 7 to 8 hours of quiet, uninterrupted rest. Your body cannot repair itself if you rob it of the time it needs. Gentlemen, make your evenings sacred. Treat them as the workshop where your manhood is restored. This plan is not complicated. It does not require expensive drugs or risky procedures. It is about timing, rhythm, and aligning your body with the blueprint nature already wrote into your DNA. Start tonight, and within weeks you may notice mornings that feel different, firmer, stronger, more confident. But before we close, there is one last message you must hear. It goes beyond steps, supplements, or science. It is about what this journey truly means for your life as a man. Gentlemen, we have walked this journey together step by step. And now the picture is clear. Magnesium, though popular, will never restore your manhood. It calms the body but leaves the very engine of your erections untouched. The real power lies in your body's natural repair system at night, fueled by the right support at the right time. You've learned how vitamin D, paired with citrus fruit, activates the deep repair of smooth muscle fibers that keep your erections firm. You've seen how pomegranate, rich in zinc, lights the ignition switch for testosterone and rebuilds strength while you sleep. You now know the 3 common nighttime mistakes: B-complex vitamins, late vitamin C, and hidden caffeine that quietly steal your progress. And you've heard the emotional truth. Losing erections is never just about the body. It is about dignity, connection, and the spirit of being alive. I have witnessed men in their 70s and 80s, men who thought their fire had gone out, discover that their bodies still carried the blueprint for renewal. With a few simple adjustments, they not only regained erections, but also their confidence, their closeness with loved ones, and their belief in themselves. And now it is your turn. Tonight you have the opportunity to begin again. Do not waste another evening on something that cannot deliver. Instead, fuel your repair system. Protect your sleep and trust the process that nature designed for you. Gentlemen, your best years are not behind you, they are waiting to be awakened. And before we part ways, I have one request. Tap that like button right now, not just for me, but as a promise to yourself that you are ready to take action. When you do, I send you 3 blessings. May your mornings rise stronger than you imagined. May your nights bring peace and deep rest. And may your journey as a man be marked not by decline, but by renewal. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a 1 if you're ready to reclaim your strength, or a 0 if you think I can guide you better. Share this with a brother, a friend, or anyone who needs to hear it. Together, we are building a community where men rediscover the fire that age could never extinguish. Gentlemen, I am Dr. Jonathan Prescott, and I am honored to walk this road with you. Your story is not over. The next chapter begins tonight.